Imagine waking up one morning and realizing the world you grew up in, the textbooks, the classrooms, the experts you trusted only, ever gave you the surface-level version of reality. Not a lie. Just a carefully edited version, missing the one piece that changes everything. Because long before physics, long before microscopes or satellites, ancient civilizations understood something modern science is only beginning to rediscover. Consciousness is not a side effect of reality. Consciousness is the source code that creates reality. And the moment you understand that, your entire relationship with existence shifts. Today, you're not just hearing a story. You're stepping into a truth that billions of people never get to realize in their lifetime, or truth powerful enough that entire institutions spent centuries suppressing it. Let's start at the beginning. The deletion of the real science traveled back with me to 391 CE, Alexandria, Egypt. The Library of Alexandria, Earth's greatest vault of knowledge, is burning. But the real tragedy isn't the flames. The real tragedy is what's inside the restricted chambers of that library. Thousands of scrolls that contained the technical manuals of consciousness, not myths, not prayers. Blueprints, step-by-step methods for how human awareness interacts with space, matter, and time. Manuals explaining how thought influences reality. Geometry used as technology. Sound used as a tool for altering perception. Texts describing how consciousness organizes physical existence the way software drives a computer. And when the mobs came, they didn't see philosophy. They saw a threat, because knowledge of this kind erases the need for external authority. If humans could influence reality with consciousness, why would they need intermediaries? Why would they need priests, kings, permission? That's why this knowledge wasn't debated. It was destroyed. But the knowledge didn't die. It went underground. The secret network, after the destruction, the teachings moved through hidden channels. Alchemists, Sufis, Gnostics, Hermetic practitioners. They encoded their knowledge in symbols so authorities wouldn't recognize what they were seeing. Take alchemy. Most people still believe it was about turning lead into gold. That's exactly what the alchemists wanted the world to think. The real transformation was internal. Matter was a metaphor. Metals symbolized psychological states, and gold meant expanded consciousness. When an alchemist wrote about dissolving mercury with sulfur under the presence of salt, they were describing the destruction of old belief patterns, the ignition of focused intention, and the stabilization of awareness. This was a science of consciousness disguised as poetry. Meanwhile, Sufi mystics were encoding geometric and vibrational technologies in their whirling dances. Tibetan monks used breathwork patterns, now shown to change brain states within seconds. Gnostic texts described quantum principles thousands of years before physicists discovered them. All of it was the same hidden system. A system teaching that reality bends toward the awareness observing it. The scientists who knew the truth now felt. You were taught Isaac Newton was the father of modern physics, a man obsessed with math and apples. But Newton wrote over 1 million words on alchemy and metaphysics. Writings he never published because they would have ended his career and, possibly, his life. He believed gravity wasn't just a force. It was conscious attraction, the organizing principle of reality itself. He used Hermetic philosophy to frame the very laws of motion we teach today, but he scrubbed the consciousness component out before publishing. Tesla, meanwhile, openly said the universe operates on energy, frequency, and vibration, but he didn't mean mechanical waves. He was referring to conscious vibrational fields identical to the Vedic concept of spanda, the pulse of awareness behind all matter. Tesla claimed to receive information from higher intelligences. His diaries described the universe not as a machine, but as a thinking system. Einstein's entire obsession with the unified field was never about math. It was about identifying the intelligent substrate of existence, the same source mystics called Brahman. I'm Soph, the one mind. These were not accidental overlaps. They were scientists rediscovering a truth the ancient world knew deeply. Matter doesn't produce consciousness. Consciousness produces matter. Quantum physics, the unintentional confession when physicists ran the double-slit experiment. They cracked open a door institutions hoped would stay sealed forever. Fire electrons at a wall with 2 slits, and they act like waves. Observe them. And the wave collapses into a particle, meaning the electron doesn't decide what it is until you look at it. The universe waits for consciousness before choosing physical form. Delayed choice experiments proved the effect happens even when the decision is made after the event. Quantum eraser experiments revealed reality rewrites itself based on observation. Entanglement showed distance doesn't matter. Particles communicate instantly because separation is an illusion. In the language of mystics, consciousness is not local. Consciousness is primary. Consciousness shapes form. The ancient world already knew this. Modern science is just late to class. The architecture of consciousness, the monad. Every tradition, Hermetic, Kabbalistic, Vedic described reality, beginning from a single, indivisible point of consciousness. They called it the monad, the Ein Sof, the Brahman. Modern physics calls it the field. Different words, same foundation. Everything dimensions, particles, galaxies. Thoughts emerges as fractal patterns from this single conscious source. Your awareness is not separate from it. You are a localized expression of the same universal intelligence. This is why meditation, breathwork, sacred geometry, and ritual work across cultures. They're not beliefs. They're interfaces, tools for tuning consciousness to specific frequencies of the universal field. Just like a radio doesn't create the signal it tunes into it, the technologies ancient civilizations hid in plain sight. Egyptians were not superstitious pyramid builders. They engineered acoustic chambers that resonate at frequencies now shown to shut down language centers and activate advanced states of awareness. Yogis created breathing systems that modern neuroscience now confirms can shift the brain into high performance, high-perception gamma states within minutes. Hermetic practitioners used ritual to override subconscious programming long before psychology existed. These were not religious practices. They were technologies of consciousness. And these technologies worked so they were buried. Because people who understand them stop being controllable. The single most dangerous truth, here's where everything converges. Every mystical tradition, every hidden school, every quantum discovery points to one forbidden recognition. You are not a separate individual living in a universe. You are the universe experiencing itself through an individual perspective. Your mind is not inside your body. Your body is inside consciousness. When you truly recognize this, fear evaporates. Scarcity collapses. External authority loses its grip. Because nothing out there has power over what you fundamentally are. This is the truth institutions fear. Not because it's dangerous, but because it dismantles control systems built on separation. You can still play the human role. You can still enjoy the story. But you're no longer trapped inside it. The global awakening. People worldwide are independently having these realizations without studying ancient texts. They're experiencing synchronicity before knowing the word. They're sensing non-local awareness. They're questioning materialism because it no longer fits their experience. This isn't a trend. This is evolution. Every major institution is feeling the pressure not because people are rebelling, but because people are remembering. Remembering the truth that was hidden from them. Remembering the science of consciousness. Remembering what they actually are. And when enough individuals remember, society will transform from the inside out, not through revolution, but through recognition. The final understanding. Consciousness isn't in the universe. The universe is in consciousness. Your thoughts influence probability fields. Your attention collapses infinite potential into form. Your awareness is the same awareness that shapes galaxies. You're not a small, fragile being looking for your place. You are the place. You are the field. You are the source point observing itself through human eyes. Once you understand that, life doesn't get easier. It gets truer. And everything you experience becomes part of the universe, exploring its own infinite creativity through you.